Hello everyone. Good afternoon. So again, we are back in this webinar, no? Actually, this is going to be the first webinar of QSR for the second quarter. So again, we would want to greet everyone a big hello, no? Good afternoon po at malapit na ang weekend. So it's almost weekend. And again, this time we are going to focus on the tools that our schools could leverage for hopefully the next school year. So today I will be joined in by Yosef kasi he will actually be giving us some feedback and examples of how he personally uses Google Workspace for education. And of course, its tools inside the classroom. Good afternoon, Yosef.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Good afternoon to all our viewers. Thank you so much for having me again.
Always, yan. You will always be invited in our webinars. So, of course, we don't want naman na maghihintay lang ang ating mga viewers, no? So, if you have your cell phones, please do scan this QR code, no? Magugulat tayo, ano ba to? No, it's actually your login for a raffle. Okay? So, before anything else, talaga naman, Sir Yosef, no? Today is not, sumama ka, di ba? Today is not just a day for a webinar, but it's also a day to win, to have a chance to win some Google goodies, no? So, again, before anything else, bago tayo mag-start, ipa-flash lang to. I will just keep this flash here probably for a couple of minutes. Let's just wait in for more people to come in and wait for them to register para may chance tayong manalo ng some Google tools. Okay, I'm also going to be flashing this same QR code probably within the middle of the webinar para yung mga ibang kakapasok lang pwede ulit makahabol at makapag-register. So again, please do fill out the form. I will also be sending in a short link on the chat box para in case wala na yung scan your QR code dito sa ating screen, talaga namang nandyan pa rin ang ating link for you to be able to see at makapag-log in tayo for our raffle. Ayan. So, later on, we'll announce ilan ang mananalo ng ating Google Goodies, Sir Yosef. Kaya talaga naman. No?
I'm always excited with events such as this kasi palagi yung inaabangan yung mga paraffle na yan.
Totoo, di ba? So,
yes.
Very, very generous din si Google in terms of their swag. So, because of the pandemic lang, we couldn't have these events. But if meron sana, it would have been so bongga. Di ba? Talaga namang super, super nice. So speaking of swags, Yosef, I know you have a lot of swags with you. That's Google. We have our shirts with us. Yan, nakasuot po kami ng Google shirt. Talaga naman. Thank you. Ano ba ang favorite Google swag mo?
Ako, notebook and the pen. I always love that notebook na branded na Google for Education. Usually, meron akong supply noon kasi pag nagte-training ako, yun ang pinamimigay ko eh. Yun ang, pamupapa mo naman, notebook ka, ganyan, pak, lahat. Yan ang notebook, kung madami. Pero kung konti na lang, order ako ng ginawa ko siyang diary. Parang nandun pa rin sa akin, although I'm still using the applications right now sa phones, mga schedules and everything, nagsusulat pa rin ako, girl. So,
totoo. Actually, mag-agree ako with you on the notebook swag. It was one of my most used swag. Talaga. It's, syempre yung pen, no? May kasama kasing pen yung notebook when it was given to me. Pero yung usability niya, parang even if it's pandemic, pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, you will always use a notebook.
Notebook. Saka even with, parang hindi pa rin nawawala sa akin yung hindi ako lumalabas ng bahay. Or kung may gagawin ako outside, may dala talaga akong And that swag is always with me.
Correct. Parang na-mention mo nga rin yan sa akin even before, talagang you like jotting things down, no? Para you don't forget them. So, ako aside from the notebook and the pen, actually I also love the stickers. Ayan, talagang makakita ko. Meron pa akong sticker on my cellphone. I don't know why. I love putting yon mga stickers. Yung iba sa laptop, 'di ba? Sa laptop, sa cellphone, anywhere,
Yun
ever.
yung one of the best din kasi like for every application, may stickers, di ba? Ang cute-cute lang. So,
Pwede ka
tama
makapag-scrapbook.
collection, no? So, dati kong Chromebook, punong-puno yun ng sticker ng mga events ni Google, ganyan, nung meron pang mga live events before. So, stickers din, maganda din yun. I think meron pa akong collection dito.
Ako din medyo marami akong sticker, pero it's super fun to have, no? So, those are some of the things that hopefully you get to win for later's raffle, no? These are just some of our favorites, pero sana depende sa ating swag queen na si Miss Hester Simon, who is watching.
Hester, the swag queen.
Talaga ang ating reyna ng swag. So, Miss Hester, good afternoon. She's also helping us in the background. So, ayan, if you have questions, feel free to ask them dito po sa ating chat box. Our team also in the background would help us, hopefully, to answer them. Later on, by the end of the webinar, we might have a very, very quick Q&A, but we will try to limit them also. We do not want to preempt the coming webinars, no, to help answer those questions. Siyempre, this is not the only webinar that you are going to be invited to. No? So, ayan. Again, the QR code is flashed on the screen. Feel free to just register, log in for the raffle entry. Siyempre, wala pong duplications as much as possible, but we also sent the raffle link. I'm gonna resend it again for everyone's reference. Nakakapasok lang. So, ayan. That's the short link in case we don't have the QR code ready in front of you. So, okay. So, now that we have that settled, no? Just a bit of a background, syempre. Ang dami na naming napag-usapan ni Sir Yosef. But really, a bit of background on Sir Yosef is that he is not just a Google certified trainer and innovator, right? That's always how we introduce him. Parang he is a Google certified innovator and trainer because he's really, really good at what he's doing. But aside from that, that's just his representation, no, when he's interfacing with us. But he is also an assistant professorial lecturer at the De La Salle University, 'di ba? Hindi ko alam bakit hindi mo sinasabi 'yon, pero he is also a teacher. He's also a professor, no, in the background. And that is what he is mainly doing if he is not interfacing with us, no, for our Google projects. And I just want to emphasize that he is actually one of the very first Google champions here in the Philippines, not just in QSR, in the Philippines. So, talagang how long have you been using Google tools, Yosef? How long have you been doing all of this?
As far as I can remember, way back 2012, 2013, that's the very first foray ko into in 2013 doing projects with Google, but the use of the apps, Gmail, yun doon I started with Gmail mga 2012, and then after that full blown, tuloy-tuloy na siya.
Tagal na nga, para kang nakapagpa-graduate ng mga 3 beses, 2 beses, ganyan. Syempre, meron po tayong audience participation, Mr. JD Mercado on the screen. Magaling po yan si Sir Yosef. Yan po ang aking inspirasyon sa pagiging trainer. Iba talaga naman ang support ng ating Google Trainer and Innovator community. Isa din po yan si Mr. JD Mercado na part ng ating very, very proactive GEG community, by the way. Itatakal ni Sir Yosef yan later on, di ba? How they actually have been a big help. Okay? So, you mentioned na mga 2012 pa lang nag-uusap or ginagamit mo na yung tools. So, what are some of your favorite tools na ginagamit mo yung na ginagamit mo ngayon kapag nagtuturo ka?
Ngayon, Google Meet. and I get to use Jamboard, and Google Keep for my students, no. Uh, Alam mo yun, yung naalala ko nung college kasi, nung nag-aaral ako, yung professor nagki-keep ng index cards at the very beginning of the term, ganyan. So inisip ko, okay, I can't do an index card. So ang ginamit ko, nagpa-jamboard ako with them. So, they put their picture, they put their small profile, and I always go back to that para I can check on them, and at least naman, even if we have online classes right now, nakikita ko kung I have a little bit of background kung sino yung mga students ko, kasi that's a limitation to our yung totoong interaction, yung face to face, but at least with that profile, para ako may index card with my Google Jamboard. I can just scroll out, sino yung tinuro ko, then I can put down notes if I have like something to say, if like that particular person participated in the class, ganyan. So pwede mo rin siyang gawing doon ka mag-jot down ng notes for your engagement, especially na if you're handling the whole class and for like a particular number of hour, and then medyo challenging yung natatandaan mo sila palagi eh. So yun ang way ko to make me remember na ito yung ginawa niya during that particular session. Yun ang index card ko, online index card ko, yung Jamboard namin.
Ang ganda nun. Actually, it's the very first time I've heard about a teacher using Jamboard as a sense of index card. Weird ba to? Pero nung nagturo din ako, nagpa-index card talaga ako. Diba? For recitation, di ba? Yung talagang... Diba? Ang ganda niya kasi you have like your one by one photo. Ganyan, 1x1 photo or 2x2 photo.
Nakakatawa lang with that. Kasi I give them the freedom to use any photo, no? Of course, yung photo na decent naman.
Right.
Kanya-kanya sila ng pagandahan ng pagandahan sila ng selfie, ganyan. So, okay, sige. I give it to you. Sige.
Ang ganda nun, no? So, since we're talking about Google tools, I just wanna ask, was there any chance, by any chance, na nag-raise ka kay Google na you wanted them to give you feedback or on some functionalities? For example, may isang functionality na wala and you're looking for it, tapos you just had to raise a feedback for them, tapos how was your experience?
Nung nag-start ako as a user, actually for everyone's information, it's built in all the applications for the users to really give feedback to Google in terms of all those things, if may mga functions na nakita or they wanted to have, or if there are issues with the functions. So that's one user perspective. Another thing is, as a Google trainer also and part of the community, we have this direct communication with Google because we have a whole community of and we were handled by someone from Google itself. So we can immediately just give feedback na as a group of teachers and educators who are using these tools, we can just interact in the community and tell them na actually the one that you released, we wanted to have more functions like this. So it's there's that level of direct communication and coming from the group, no. So as you know naman, we have GEGs as communities of educators. If you are a trainer, then you have a specific Google group for that and a community of Google trainers around the world. So imagine the feedback and the experience that all these users, trainers, Google certified teachers, they all have these groups eh. Imagine the level of feedback that they, pare-pareho lang naman ang experience ng mga teachers in terms of what they want to be or what they want to have in the classroom. So magkakaiba man yan ng, kahit nasa US man yan or nandito sa atin, parang iisa yung goal natin, diba? So with that type of dynamics na may direct communication, you can just email Meiju or kung sino man yung nag-handle ng programs, we can just even post a question doon sa community, sa Google groups namin, and anybody who has a similar kind of need or want or feedback would chip in and just put in their comments as well and suggestions, and hahaba yung thread. And that is what I think that is one of the best ways, kasi somehow as trainers, as part of that community, parang we represent na rin the rest of the user base, especially now kami yung humaharap with the actual consumers and the users mismo, kami nagde-train. So from their feedback to us and then diretso. But then of course, they also have that mechanism na as a user, they can directly get. So the point here is that Google has those mechanisms, that they listen to their user. And I think it's one of the principles in design thinking na focus on the user. All right? So
correct. Yan. Ang ganda nung exploration natin on how they have been listening to feedback, because syempre from your end as a teacher, also as a Google certified trainer and innovator, may access tayo directly, di ba? Directly to these people who are managing the programs. And definitely you're right, you represent a bigger group of educators na same ang concern, di ba? Na gusto ko ng ganitong functionality for this tool. And kami naman as a partner, it's also the same way. Definitely, we have direct contact to our partners in Google. We communicate with them directly na ito yung mga requests ng aming school, no? Ito yung mga hinahanap ng schools namin. So earlier on, we were talking about each tool, right? Each functionality of each tool. And just a brief background for everyone who's watching us today. Last year, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar that we have released the G Suite Enterprise for Education, right? This was the original upgrade for the tools, diba? So last year, it was like more of a all or nothing game. It was, I'm gonna use the free version or I'm gonna get the upgrade. It was just that, right? And a lot of our schools, even especially the small private schools, were asking us na, Miss Camille, Miss Maina, or Miss Peachy was the other person who's also managing our business part of the team. So a lot of people have been asking us na, baka pwede namang Google Meet upgrades lang yung gusto kong kunin. No? Baka I don't need the other upgrades. Or baka naman pwedeng I'm just gonna be using the admin console upgrades. Diba? There are schools who would be needing those functionalities. And come 2021, Google actually listened to all of our feedback, because those are some of the things that we were telling them late last year, mga Q4 ng 2020, na, hello, ito po yung mga gusto ng schools namin. Wala po ba tayong ganyang functionality or wala po ba tayong ganyang option, no? We need options, options, options. And again, come 2021, that was what was given to us. It was the variety of options that was given to us. Kaya, again, I apologize, baka mag-tongue twister pa ako. Now we call it Google Workspace for Education, and it has its editions, right? It's not anymore G Suite Enterprise and G Suite for Education, but it's really more focused on the editions. No? We have a variety of that, and we will be delving on those editions now, di ba? Ito ang pag-uusapan natin, Yosef, today.
Right.
So, I'm sure a lot of us are already familiar with the free version, di ba? A lot of schools, my school also, since I'm taking my MA, I have a G Suite Google Workspace for Education account. Sorry, nagkakamali ako, di ba? I already have a Google Workspace for Education account, and it's the free version. And now we call that Education Fundamentals. So from G Suite for Education, we now call it Google Workspace for Education Fundamentals. So ito po ang free version. This is what a lot of the schools have. Ito po ang, again, free version ng ating Google for Education. So, if you can see the asterisk, medyo maliit siya, no? Pero meron tayong asterisk dyan, nakalagay dyan, it's free for qualifying institutions, right? Meaning, you still have to apply for Google Workspace for education, just like before. It's really, wala namang nag-change eh. You can still get it for free, and you would still have to undergo a certain verification process. So actually, si Yosef would share us how can we get education fundamentals, Sir Yosef?
Yeah, you're right. No, in terms of having it the same as before, basically, you just number one, the same as before. You just have to prepare your domain. You just pagdating naman sa domain, you have the freedom to select which provider you would have, but make sure that domain is active. That's number one. And then of course, number two would be um, make sure that necessary details such as your school name, the number of population, and all the details that you have that was asked in the application form would be filled up. Kasi again, you still undergo with the application form. So we can help you with leading to that application portal. And of course, if either you are a school that's from DepEd or from a higher educational institution, then you must have the necessary and the proper accreditation. So you must be recognized. Kasi certifications, mga ganun, you would be asked to provide that. The same way as before. So kailangan talaga siya. And of course, actually, yun lang naman. And basically, if the application team, team from Google side, would find it sufficient, then they would not be a problem. But if they would see now, okay, there are some things that we would need to verify, then you have us, you have QSR to help you with those questions. So you have the email that is available for you to connect if there are issues, if you want some updates, because sometimes because of the number of schools applying, minsan parang akala natin, oh, anong nangyari sa application namin. So we also have that assistance that is available for you. You can just email education@qsr.com.ph, or we have our YouTube channel. You can watch our webinar on that. It's available on our YouTube channel, and that is actually detailing you how to register for that particular if you want to be a Google Workspace for Education school. So watch out for that in our YouTube channel, QSR.
Yes. Thank you, Sir Joseph, no. That's right, no. Siguro isa-supplement ko lang yung nasabi ni Sir Joseph. Sabi niya, oo nga, baka magpanic kayo na ang tagal ng approval. Before siguro mga start of pandemic around 2020 ng March, April, ano pa lang, maiksi pa lang yung number of working days na pwede mong hintayin. Minsan 3 days na provision ka na. Ngayon, you have to wait as long as 2 months. Because of that surge of schools who are now joining in Google Workspace for Education. So, it's not something new na baka magulat kayo na bakit po ang tagal, nagpapanik na ang school namin. There is a certain verification process that we would have to go through. So, hintayin lang po natin, no? Hintayin lang natin yung application. But if you're having problems or troubles, again, the email address is flashed in front of you. No problem. Pwede po kayong mag-contact sa amin. So, again, that is the free version, no, of Google Workspace for Education. Now, moving on to the next edition, no, syempre doon tayo sa next edition. This is a part of the 4 editions, right? The first one is already the free version, the one that we flashed earlier on. Second one is this, it's Education Standard. So, the full name is Google Workspace for Education Standard, right? So, as you can see, no, some schools kasi, they have their requirement is specifically for their IT administrators. Just their IT administrators. So this upgrade, the education standard, is really focused on the reporting aspect. It's really the reporting side of things, no?
More on the
And this
analytics. Yeah.
correct. It's more on the analytics. It's more on the back end. Ibig sabihin, when we say back end, these are people who manage our admin console. These are the ones who create accounts, no? They are the ones who see the usage of everything. So some schools just want advanced security and analytics, no, for their school. And just that, they really want the reporting aspect. It's like an additional layer of security, um, additional capabilities on top of the foundational ones that you have for the free version, right? We are not saying that the free version is not secure. It actually is because you have your own admin console, but this is basically giving you more types of report and yeah, it's basically that, no, more security features and more visibility in data and insight. So
Actually, very important for some schools to have, that big data that they can analyze, because that would help them inform, the movement of their community, of the
correct.
usage, and most of the decisions will be based from there. So
Yes.
right now the world is big on data and analytics. So if you're a school or your admin is more on that, then definitely this edition would be your friend.
That's true, no? Talagang mag-agree ako dyan. But again, just a reminder to all our viewers, no, that this upgrade is actually an upgrade that is for the reporting aspect. So if you want functionalities for end users, meaning our teachers, syempre we want more we want something that they could use also. If you want extra functionalities in your Google tools, um, we can look at the other upgrades that will be discussed later on. So again, reminder, when we talk about education standard, it's really the back end support that we're getting, right? So at least we're clear about that. So
Mhm.
before we move on, no, to the next edition, I'm gonna be flashing the QR code again because I think we have more viewers, no? We have more viewers now. So definitely, no, you can scan it, you can answer it para naman makasama tayo sa ating raffle entry. Wow, I'm so happy to be seeing, nakikita ko real time yung mga nagre-register. So, nakakatuwa. Please feel free, no, yung mga hindi pa po nakapag-register for the raffle, please feel free to, again, scan the QR code and just, answer the raffle form. Okay. But before we move on to the next upgrade, Sir Yosef, may question ako eh. Also to our audience, no, feel free to answer. I just want to know, now that it's, again, COVID-19 pandemic, one of the biggest issue that we have with our classes is how we engage our classes. 'Di ba?
Mhm.
Parang, how do we engage our classes? So, to our audience, I just want to know, how do you engage your classes, no? Please feel free to chat in our chat box, no? Ano yung ginagawa niyong ways to make sure that the classes keep engaged? And ikaw din, Sir Joseph, of course, I would want to know your answer, being also a teacher talaga, di ba? More than anything. So, sige, would you have any example for us? Parang how do you engage your classes?
Pinaka-basic, actually, we've been doing a lot of design thinking, sessions, no, for our principals. And nakakatawa kasi it's one of the aspects and one of the elements that we really try to focus on finding solutions, kasi that has been a perennial problem with educators around the world and even us, to really engage the students, no? And yeah, there's no perfect solution for that. I believe in the context of each experience, and I believe in the differences of of all those experiences. But as for me, since tinatanong mo ako, uh, pinaka-basic na engagement ko is uh, talking to them as if I'm really facing them like in a typical classroom setting. And without the use of the other tools pa ha, wala pa kami ibang tools, I really make use of the chat box to have their participation. No? Depende sa school policy if, some schools or our school doesn't really require for them to turn on their cameras. So you don't have an idea what the student is doing. And of course, as a teacher, you would panic na, oh my God, where are they? So, are you still there? Kung paramdam ka, ganyan. So, the one way for me to do that is to really ask them to use the chat box. I can just ask a question and then type in the chat box like this if you are this or this or that. That's really an excellent way of engaging them. Now, using the different tools, naman, when we incorporate the different tools, we can actually use different applications, no, for polling. If you ask questions for polling, you can have several applications for having it as a whiteboard or even breakout rooms. So before nung wala pa siya available, nung from the very first from the first few before these editions have come up, no, talagang those are not available in and then with the feedback from the community. So kasi dati hahanap kami ng iba't ibang mga tools na compatible with Google for us to use and for us to be used to engage students. And with that feedback na we're scrambling up kasi ang dami pwedeng gawin. With that feedback that Google received probably from the community, from the users, meron na nilagay nila sa particular edition na to. Diba? You have the polling, you have the breakout rooms, and breakout rooms right now are really important for me functionality, because that's one way of facilitating a large group of students and just have them group into several smaller ones, and then I can just hop in to each of them and still facilitate and have their own dynamics. So that's really one thing. And then of course yung Jamboard, right, no, na integrated na sa Google Meet, no, like, from there, and then you can just immediately scribble from your type, or just have an online whiteboard system, whiteboard slash notepad or whatever, no, kasi there are
Scrapbook, ganon, no? Talagang
as a case, nagawa ko siyang index card for student engagement.
right. Oo, 'di ba? Talagang iba-iba rin yung ways, and ako totally agree ako in terms of the breakout session. If you haven't heard, no, but USR is also how do I say this? We did run the senior leaders lab last year, and the breakout room is something that we have great use of. Talagang every session, tatlong breakout room, 5 beses or 3 beses or 4 na beses sa isang session. Sobrang helpful niya, right? And I think a lot of the teachers are looking for that functionality. We have some answers actually in the chat box by Miss Tata. Hi, Tata, how are you? Sabi niya, we try engaging students during synchronous classes by having them use Jamboard during the Google Meet. So that's right, no? Talagang Jamboard is kapag may math classes ka, pwede rin mag-type ng numbers, mag-type ng words, post-its, 'di ba? That's the favorite part sa Jamboard. It's really that portion. Like if you don't want them to recite verbally, at least they can type their answers, 'di ba? Si Miss MC, we engage our learners synchronously via Google Meet and asynchronously via Google Classroom. So, correct, no? Talagang nakikita natin how our teachers are very dependent on Google Classroom in terms of the functionalities asynchronously, no? As our content management system, that's very, very helpful also. Si Miss Marlu to, I think. Miss Marlu from Hillcrest, hello po. Ayan, I'm happy that you're here. So those are some of the functionalities that a lot of teachers want, especially the breakout session. And actually, Sir Joseph, that breakout session is the most requested, no? Most requested feature yan ng kahit tayo, kahit ako hindi nagtuturo, yun din yung gusto kong functionality. And actually, in this upgrade, which is the teaching and learning upgrade, you get upgraded functionalities in the most used tools, right? So you have what? Google Meet, which is what we always use. Kami meetings, kayo sa classes, talagang very, very helpful. What else? You have Google Classroom, of course, kasi you get originality reports.
Yes, oh my God, that's my favorite.
Diba? Super, super easy, super less time for the teacher to think na, ito bang student ko ay kinuha lang ito sa internet o kinuha niya sa kaklase niya, diba?
The ease of checking, sobrang, oh my God, the burden, nawala sa amin. Nawala sa amin. Pak, isang
Again,
lang.
Diba? Isang click, you know if it's plagiarized, or you can give more time for your students to help them and cite properly, right? Diba? It's more than seeing how if it is copied or not. It's really the helping them how to cite properly, to acknowledge other people's work, right? It's really that holistic approach to education, diba?
And there's that level of coaching type na parang nagtuturo sila one-on-one, 'di ba? Kasi the teacher is able to comment on the work.
Correct.
And then naga-guide niya individually. 'Di ba?
It's through the private comments, 'di ba? Talagang pwede kang magsabi na hi Yosef, for example, kindly cite these properly, or find more resources that you feel is going to be more reliable. Yung mga ganyan, it's something na sabi nga nila, especially now that we are in a virtual setup, feedback is very, very big, diba? It's what students would really, really appreciate. It's the feedback. So that is that's something that this teaching and learning upgrade has. It's the upgrade of the functionalities for video conferencing, definitely to help you engage more, and of course, Google Classroom. Okay, so those are some of the upgrades for teaching and learning upgrade. It's more of the end user upgrade. Kanina nandun tayo sa back-end IT administrator console upgrade in reporting. Ngayon nandito tayo sa ano ba yung magagamit ni teacher na tools, right? So we are looking at teaching and learning upgrade for that.
And also, I love how they improved the number of participants for this, diba?
Yes.
If you have like 250, or if you have, I think the limit is 250, no? And then if you have more, then you can just stream it, no?
Yes, exactly.
And then cast it to a larger audience pa. So
you have in-domain live streaming, since kung lahat naman ng students mo ay, remember, lahat naman tayo pwedeng mag-request ng number of licenses dun sa free version. You have immediately 10,000. If you need more, just request, right? If it's the free version. And then in domain, meaning lahat ng nasa domain mo pwedeng manood ng live streaming, 'di ba? So it's very secure. You don't have to go to Facebook, which is a more public platform. In schools, syempre, we're worried about our participants. Yung data nila, all of these things. And once you're doing the in-domain live streaming, you're sure na ang makakapasok lang at makakapanood lang ng iyong live stream ay ang mga participants, yes, na nasa domain mo. So that's a very, very good upgrade, no, in terms of live streaming. So that is, again, teaching and learning upgrade. Nakatatlo na tayo. Meron na tayong Google Workspace for Education Fundamentals. We have Education Standard. And teaching and learning upgrade, right? Pangatlo na. At syempre, meron tayong Rockstar. Ang Rockstar ng mga editions na to is the Education Plus, right?
Yes.
Bakit natin siya tinawag na rockstar? Because it's basically a combination of the two. It's a combination of the admin console reporting, you get analytics, no? And then you also get the the front end upgrades, which is the ones that the teachers need, which is the functionalities of the tools. So, bakit ba to rockstar? Alam ko marami po dito yung nag-engage with QSR last year using their G Suite Enterprise for Education. Huwag po tayong mag-panic because the Education Plus is actually G Suite Enterprise for Education is the equivalent of Education Plus, right? So that's something. Yes. So immediately kahit magpalit na yung tawag sa kanya, yung functionality na maki-carry over po ng mga kumuha ng G Suite Enterprise for Education ay ang Education Plus. O, di ba? Social. Di ba? Social talaga, kaya very, very rockstar ang Education Plus. It, again, gives you the functionalities of both end user and the IT administrator, which is your back-end support. So, before I move on to like showing you a complete comparison of, you know, all of these 4 editions, because I have a table coming up in the next slide. I'm just going to inform everyone that we are closing in the form for, kasi magra-raffle na po tayo in the back end. So, Ms. Hester, if you're here, you can now run the raffle in the background para by the end of our webinar, pwede na tayo mag-announce. Correct. Yan. So, we are going to have 5 lucky winners, no? 5 lucky winners in our raffle entry. So, Ms. Hester, just feel free to work in your magic and do all of these things. O, diba?
And before that, let's just shout out lang with our participants. So we have from Nuestra Señora de Guia Academy of Marikina, Sir Nolly.
Sir Nolly! Yay, you're here!
And then, of course, sino pa yung iba, Camille?
We have Sir Johnny Comiso, yan, from Higher Ground Baptist Academy Foundation, Malabon. Ayan.
Tuning in with us, no?
Opo, talagang nakakatuwa. We also have, kanina may mga nag-hello sa atin. Kaninang medyo maaga pa, we have Miss Elvira sa Mantilla. We have, siyempre, Miss Mina Sabado is here with us. Si Mr. Mark Anthony Reyes Rivera. Si Miss Tata, Ma'am Tata, hello. Miss Mary Del.
Sorry.
Yes. We have Mary Del Ortil from Marriott School of Quezon City. We have Miss Mildred Panol. She is from NEAP, no, the National Educators Academy of the Philippines. Who else? Siyempre, we have Mr. JD Mercado kanina. Oo.
Yeah,
we have Erickson Renya. And si Gab is also here with us. Hello.
Hello, Gab.
Very, very supportive. Si Miss Tin. Hello, Miss Tin. Talaga namang, sabi ko sa inyo, our back-end team is very supportive.
Grabe.
Oh, di ba? Andito yung mga yan. So, si Sir Eric pala is from Preston International College. Di ba? Right. So, ngayon, again, I'm just going to show you a very, very quick, comparison of all of these 4. Para lang hindi natin makalimutan, ano ba tong mga tools na to ulit? Di ba? Just to give you a side-by-side comparison of all these 4, wag po tayong mag-panic. For those who still want to onboard the free Google Workspace for Education Fundamentals, please just email us at education. We would love to help you. Andyan si Miss Tin, nakikinig po siya. Andyan si Miss Tin. Siya po ang tumutulong sa inyo in terms of onboarding. Hi, Miss Tin, no? Talagang
flash on the screen right now, so remember to take note of that.
Yes, pwede po kayong mag-screenshot, pwede kayong mag-picture, but this is the email that you would have to contact in terms of all of these actually. Kapag may tanong kayo of all of these tools, si Miss Tin yung sasagot. Just kidding. But definitely, aanuhin kayo niyan, re-replyan kayo niyan or ifo-forward kayo sa tamang person to answer you for your questions. We would love to help you. So,
Correct.
wag kayong mag-worry in terms of the free edition. It's going to still be free. Google will still help us, no? Wala naman silang announcement of removing so far, no, yung free version of the Google tools. So, aside from that, we have the education standard. Again, it's focused on advanced security analytics. And for teaching and learning upgrade, we have educator tools. It's really, as mentioned, it's for our educators so that they could use more
For us,
engagement.
for
Yes,
teachers, yes.
diba? More engagement, more functionality, more fun. Diba? That's the upgrade that you need if you need functionalities. And Google Workspace for Education Plus, definitely it's a comprehensive solution because it is the combination, no, of education standard and teaching and learning upgrade, right?
Mhm.
So,
Exactly.
diba? So that's really the what do you call this? That's really the summary of all of these four
With
editions.
all these upgrades, Kabil, the schools, the admin, they can actually have different options, no? Depending on their need. Because again, um, as a school, as an administrator, perhaps, no, as a teacher, you would have those needs, no? And it is just a matter of communicating that with everyone in the community, in your own community, of how you want to achieve your goal as an institution. And if you find na, okay, we want this, and then you can just talk to us. You can just email education@qsr.com.ph.
Talaga, no? Talagang it rings a bell. Education@qsr.com.ph. Talagang, when in doubt, sa totoo lang po, if you have questions or whatnot, when in doubt, just email education. Education@qsr.com.ph and then mawawala na yung mga agam-agam ninyo dahil susubukan naming sagutin lahat ng inyong mga tanong, of course. Definitely, no, with the help of our very, very helpful team. So, ngayon, so far, Sir Yosef, no, syempre, we have what? We talked about all of these tools. May I
Mm-hmm.
just want to ask, I just want to ask you, and our audience, of course, kung papiliin kayo, if, for example, you have that opportunity to decide for your school, which among the four would you get? Right? Ano ba? Ikaw, Sir Yosef, among the four editions.
So let's have them type one for the free edition, two for the education standard, type three in the chat box if you want teaching and learning upgrade, and of course, type four in the chat box if you want the Google Workspace for Education Plus.
Oo, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Diba?
Ako, since you're
Ikaw
asking me,
muna. Oo.
well, sasakopin ko na lahat. So I would definitely get the Education Plus.
Education
Since
Plus, no?
it's the combination of the two. You have the data insights, you have the analytics, and of course, you have more functionalities for both the teachers, the educators, and of course, the students. So,
Right.
kung ako lang ha. Kung ano. But of
Ikaw
course,
lang.
no, there is no, there's no parang one solution for every situation. That is why we have these options. Options, options.
Parang wala naman talaga, no? Kahit anong provider, for sure, there's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
Correct.
Diba?
That's the term that I actually want to say.
Diba? It's,
one size fits all.
And the fact that we know it just goes to show na we are trying our best to make do with what we have. Right? Even if we have the free version, we'll make do with that. But syempre, let us not forget that there are probably more needs in terms of how we could better teach our students, right? Especially, mahirap talaga yung mahirap yung limited tayo, right? Mahirap pag limited yung movement natin. Kaya nahirap tayo dito sa sa pandemic na to because of that limitations, no, in terms of movement. This could have been a big event, no, and I would love to see all of you. I want to see Miss Tata, Miss Krishna, Ma'am Marlu, Sir Erickson, all of these participants.
I actually miss that interaction of talking to educators in an actual event. Kasi di ba, that's what QSR has been doing for the longest time, and hosting events, putting up communities, and nakakamiss yun.
Oo. Talaga na even before the pandemic even before I came in, talagang ang daming events ni QSR. Kaya kapag nagre-reminisce sila na ito yung pictures, parang ako, okay lang po. Marami akong virtual events. Marami akong Google Meet pictures, ganon. Ganon yung ganun na yung nangyayari ngayon. So, anyway, ako din, I would want the Education Plus. Kung may chance nga lang kung may chance lang kami, QSR, kukuha rin kami ng upgrade. We love all of these upgrades. Gusto din namin yung Education Plus, di ba?
Right.
But much like any of you, we are not, yung iba po kasi nagtatanong even if they're businesses, for example, if they can onboard education. Kami rin po hindi kami naka-education because we are not a school. So that's, that's something na hinahanap-hanap din namin, no, yung mga functionalities na to. But since we are a partner, we do have a demo account, but it's not something that we use every day, diba? Parang it's not something that we use for regular meetings since it's a demo account, no? But definitely we love all of these functionalities kasi our admin console panel has more mas marami siyang reports possible, mas maraming readings possible, no? In of who we are or what we can get from all of these tools. So
let us just shout out kay Sir Nolly, no? Kasi sabi niya, excited daw sila sa mga new functionalities. All of our branches will be using Google Workspace for Education. Palakpakan naman natin si Sir Nolly.
Talaga, oo. Si Sir Nolly talagang very proactive yan. Last year pa yan, naka-enterprise sila. So thank you, Sir Nolly. And hindi lang yon, kinareer niya ang pagiging Google Educator, nag-certification din siya. So talagang Sir Nolly is one of the progressive administrators that I have met actually in my stay in QSR. Talagang Ms. Camille, very proactive in asking questions via email. Talaga, ano yung upgrades, paano ba maging certified educator? Talagang he always wants to push himself also, no, for the better. So nakakatuwa. Hi, Sir Nolly! Nakakamiss, no? Nakakamiss din yung
Siyempre, diba, speaking of certifications, QSR also offers that one, no? So
yes,
some other talk siguro or some other webinars, we actually talked about it, no, in the different levels of certifications that they have.
Yes, oo. So now we are already in the process of having participants. Kulang na lang tayo ng talagang
winners. Actually, the answer to our question, majority sa kanila, gusto na yung number 4.
Number 4. Si Ma'am Elvira sabi niya all. So, number 4 din yun, di ba? Talagang
that's the all
correct.
Thank you so much, guys, for, taking time to answer and engaging with us as well. And hopefully, manalo kayo sa raffle right now.
Ayan. So, I'm already just putting in their names para lang ipa-flash ko na. I'm just waiting for 2 more names to flash on my screen para pwede ko nang i-announce kung sino ang mga nanalo for today. So, again, right? Kami rin, excited kami for the swags, no? Miss Hester, baka naman pwede mo rin padala na swag. Diba? But again, just a reminder for everyone, if it's still not clear or if it doesn't ring a bell, if you have a lot of questions, no? Email us at education@qsr. Naku, pag nakita niyo yung pangalan ko doon, ibig sabihin ako lang din ang sumagot sa inyo. It's either Miss Kim, it's me, talagang Miss Hester also, talagang yan ang mga people who are going to reach out to you. So far po ba, may questions tayo? Sana wala naman dahil i-invite ko pa po kayo for our next webinars. Marami pa tayong webinar.
May mga nag-hello in our chat box. We have Neka from Bislig City. Oh my God, that's like down the way to the south. We also have Jonas, no? Denso, Harold Denso. Good afternoon.
Si Sir Jonas is back in our previous webinar. Very, very active yan. Laging nagtatanong ng question. Ang saya. Naaalala ko po kayo. So, ayan. All right. I think we have the winners already, no? Miss Hester, thank you so much for your assistance. Double check ko lang ng quick kung tama ang aking pangalan.
Ipapaano muna natin sa ating
SGV representative.
SGV. Ernst and Young.
Oo, di ba? Talagang ganon ang ating level of
winners. May
diba?
ganun level.
So, sorry, let me just show this slide to everyone para ito na po ang ating winners. Reminder, mag-message po kami sa inyo at mag-i-email or text message. Baka po kasi i-ignore nyo pag hinihingan namin kayo ng address. Ano po? Hindi po kami scam. Hindi po kami nang scamming tao. Mind you. So, let me just share my screen again and show you the names of our winners. Ayan, we have number 1, Miss Natasha Francisco. We have Sir Jose Marimiliado. We have Miss L'Oreal De Humo, Maria Alisa Janelle Ballesteros, and Samantilla. Yun lang po yung name na nilagay. I think it's the last name of the participant. So, if ever...
Basta Samantilla, na nandito, ikaw na po yun.
Opo. So, ang mangyayari po, wait for us to email you and reach out to you via email and text message. We will definitely ask for your addresses para ma-courier po namin. Opo. Wala na pong ibang mangyayari, i-courier lang namin yung inyong prizes for today. So, ayan. I hope clear. I will please, yes.
I think we have a question coming from our audience. Diba? Busy ako sa
pagkakas. Okay. Oo nga nakakatuwa nga ang bilis ng quick eyes, diba? Sabi ni Miss Tata, quick question. Tama ba ako, Sir Yosef? This is the question. No?
Yes.
Miss Camille and Sir Yosef, for those who upgraded to G Suite Enterprise last 2020, until when is your recommended deadline for upgrading this 2021? Ayan. Thank you so much for asking this wonderful question, Miss Tata. 3 months before your expiration date, I will be reaching out to you, and then we can do the same process as we did last year. Tapos, it's gonna be more seamless and no lull times already, no? Kasi you are already under a reseller console, so no process needed anymore. We'll just transfer the licenses again. Hopefully, if you sign before the deadline or before mag-expire, para mas seamless siya. Talagang dire-diretso lang ang ating usage of the upgrades. Ayan. Hopefully, Ms. Tata, are we okay? I answered naman the question, no?
Oh, we have another question coming from
Si Ma'am Millet. Hi, Miss Millet. Sabi niya, good day, Miss Camille and Sir Yosef. May I know until when we can use our current free G Suite for Education this school year? Ma'am Millet, just to clarify, you can still use your free version, right? But if you want upgrades, definitely yun po yung my date. If you want me to further answer this, definitely, or if you're interested to get the upgrades in any case, no, just email education@qsr.com.ph. Si Ma'am Millet actually is one of the schools that's also under QSR. So very, very familiar yung name ni Ma'am Millet for me. And so yes, ma'am, if it's just the free version that you're currently using, you don't have to worry. Hindi po yan mawawala. You can use it hanggang kung kailan nag-exist ang school nyo. Oo, talagang in 20 years, sana free pa rin siya by then. Pero magagamit natin siya, di ba? So, hindi naman po yan iti-take away from you ni Google. So, the free version, again, is still free. It's still yours. But if you do want upgrades, that's when we can start a conversation.
Parang umorder ka lang sa mga Happy Meal ganyan, di ba? Na parang, uy, I want to have upgrades. Pak. So, pumili ka sa choices, then you have it. We will give it to you. ni Google.
Oo, 'di ba? So that's the concept. So thank you everyone for joining us. Sana po ang mga nanalo, screenshot niyo po ang pangalan niyo diyan, katabi ng mukha namin ni Sir Yosef. And congratulations for winning. Hopefully we get to see you again in our next webinars. Kasi definitely, we will have more in store for you. Of course, I'm still tackling about the editions of Google Workspace for Education. So just tune in our Facebook and our YouTube channel. We have a lot of things in store for you. So again, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Sir Yosef, of course, diba? Thank you for...
A lovely chat with you. Parang lang tayo nagchichikahan actually.
Diba? It's super fun.
Palakpakan natin yung mga audience natin, of course. Yung our for tuning in with us today, no? Kasi, they also have the time to listen and be part of the conversation.
Yes. At happy weekend. Ito na talaga.
Oh my God, weekend na guys. So happy weekend. Please stay safe everyone and kapit lang tayo at padayon.
Correct. Thank you again for joining us, everyone. We will see you in the next webinar. Bye-bye.
Bye.